Smoke, last week we dropped our 24/7 Sports Class of 2026 top 247 rankings. The scouting team, led by Andrew Ivins, did a phenomenal job. We did not have you on the show, sadly, but we got to get your takes, man. So let's start with the trenches. Andrew Ivins called the 2025 class the year of the offensive lineman. You look at it, it's Michael Fasusi, Andrew Babalola, David Sanders Jr. You get a bunch of guys, very top-heavy. You're looking at the 2026 class, and you think when you look at Jackson Cantwell, Felix Ojo, Kenai Pepe, Emmanuel Iheanacho, it can be just as good as 2025.
They stack up real good, Tom. And here's why they stack up. The athleticism, you see. Strength and movement ability. Those guys, all of them are over 300 pounds. And when I evaluated them, they're all built from the ground up. What I mean from the ground up is they have the ability to play firm. Most of the time when we look at offensive linemen, especially the tackle position, we talk about dancing bear, quick feet. Can they stay in front of the defensive edge player? There's only like one or two guys yearly at every single level, from high school to college, even the NFL, that can truly beat you with edge pressure. I mean, speed off of it. So when I look at these guys and I say, wow, they can get in and play day one and impact it, it's because their strength and how firm that they are in the run and in the pass game. And they have so much size that if you wanted to kick them inside just to give them a chance to grow up, then in year two, put them on the outside, you have all skill sets to do that with the developmental process of all the schools that they've had in their top five so far.
Looking at this group, when you compare the Nike Next Ones event that I saw, you look at the All-American Bowl, we had Felix Ojo there. I mean, this group is absolutely loaded. But is there one that really sticks out to you as the most day one ready right away?
You know I'm in love with Jackson. and here's why.
Yeah.
Just his overall temperament and the way that he plays the game with power, balance, and body control for his size. And when you see him make contact in that good athletic fitted position, you see a jolt from his hips. And you see his ability to sustain at every level. First level, but knocking guys off. Second level, because his hip fluidity. And again, being a track athlete, you see the dynamic explosiveness, but also the balance with good feet for a guy that's his size.
I think you nailed it. I couldn't agree more with day one potential, like to start right away. Jackson Cantwell, I think long-term potential for me. Love Felix Ojo, I think. And my I don't have a crystal ball pick in, but I like the Longhorns right now. I think that guy, watching him in San Antonio, special talent. But another group of positions you have a take on is the quarterback room. And again, I mean, I struggle. Andrew Ivins has a thankless job. That whole team of our scouting guys, they have a thankless job trying to, pick and choose 1 through 5. But the quarterback group, let's start at the top. Faizon Brandon, our number one overall player, number one quarterback, currently committed to Tennessee. I want to talk about day one potentially being a starter. How does he become the guy day one in Knoxville if he does what I expect, and stick with that commitment to Texas?
So
Tennessee, sorry.
Tennessee. Same color, same team. Listen, so what I would say is I would put you in the head coaching chair. And it's my job to sell you what this player can do day one if we made him that starter.
Right.
Because I have to paint that picture for you. All you are is a coach. You just call the plays and you get him ready to play. But I would say, just looking at him physically, right now, he's ready to go in and perform for you. He can throw. He can make all the throws. Cognitively, you can see him go through all the reads from all the 7-on-7 from what I've seen him on film. And now you are in a great situation where it's quarterback friendly with Josh Heupel in that offense. So you don't need to make full field read. You just make a half full read, and then you're playing so fast that you're not asked to make checks at the line of scrimmage and set protections.
How about another guy that added his 5th star, went from athlete to quarterback, Keisean Henderson. I believe he's number 5 overall in the nation, currently committed to Houston. I think it's going to take a lot to flip him. What does it take for him to be the guy right away for the Cougars?
Well, it really is what is Houston going to take to get him and make him that guy. But it's easy sell for me.
Right.
Athletically, you see it. He can do it with his legs and he can do it with the arm. A true dual-threat, dynamic athlete. That all you have to do now is just build a team around him to fit his skill set. And early on, it doesn't have to be hard. All you have to do is just make sure that he gets easy throws and easy plays in order for him to succeed day one.
One of the best players in the entire country is right here in our backyard in Nashville. Jared Curtis, 5 star, right outside that 5th star. down to Georgia, Oregon. He's got some visits. He was just at Oregon over the weekend. He's heading to Georgia. What does it take for that guy to see the field day one? We're talking 6'4", 225, big-time talent.
So physically, you said he's there already. Cognitively, we've seen it because he's been through the system so many times. But Georgia, like most quarterbacks that play for Georgia, they're not asked to do every single thing. All they're asked to do is just be a great game manager. And the way that Mike Bobo calls his offense, the way that Kirby wants his team built, you run the ball 70% of the time, throw it 30. Now, it's all going to come down to Mike Bobo saying, how many easy free access throws can I give to him and give him the game plan that he doesn't have to go through and make every single check, set protection. We just want to be able to run the ball, easy throws, so we can get him on the field. Now, when you talk about Oregon, Oregon gets into that RPO world of allowing him to play early. RPO is run pass option. Real simple. He's been doing that all his life. Read the first level, get it in that hole. And you can see him throw with anticipation and accuracy that can get him on the field. And he doesn't have to make full field reads. Half field's a real good dynamic football players. Offensive line is set for him because they've done a real good job recruiting. So I think that's how you get him on the football field day one.
Real quick, best fit, Oregon or Georgia?
I'm going to say Oregon.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's go around the nation and check out our recruiting map. Obviously, we got some 24/7 sports experts there. There were some big recruiting weekends taking place over the weekend. Let's start with Colin Kennedy on the latest with the Oklahoma Sooners.
Quite literally a massive recruiting weekend at Oklahoma, as around 70-plus prospects were in Norman. And some of the headlines here, starting with four-star 2026 running back Jonathan Hatton Jr., OU reestablishing some contention with a prospect formerly committed to the program. Next up, a number of new offers go out in the 2027 cycle. The Sooners honing in on a few new targets there. And last but certainly not least, OU's continued pursuit of four-star 2026 quarterback Bo Bentley, despite still having the commitment of Jaden O'Neal at the same position within the same cycle. OU having some productive conversations there, but in general, a very productive weekend for Oklahoma.
North Carolina hosted a massive recruiting weekend, by far the largest since Bill Belichick took office in Chapel Hill. It began with a practice on Friday that had about a dozen top targets in Chapel Hill, and they continued on Saturday with a junior day that ended with the UNC Duke basketball game. Among those who were in attendance on Saturday was Landon Duckworth, a four-star quarterback that UNC has had its eye on since Belichick became head coach and has been trying to get on campus for a very long time. In addition to Duckworth, UNC got Xavier Griffin-Hayes, a four-star in-state recruit, back into Chapel Hill for the second time this offseason, which is also pretty significant considering that's going to be UNC's best weapon when it comes to recruiting Griffin-Hayes, is getting him as familiar as possible with the coaching staff and with the campus. And then also UNC picked up a commitment. A defensive lineman out of Maryland, David Jackson, pledged to the Tar Heels before the weekend ended.
Well, there were a few important targets on campus for Tennessee this weekend, led by five-star wide receiver Tristan Keys. He arrived Saturday in time for Tennessee's basketball game, stayed all the way through Monday morning to attend the Vols' second spring practice. So big extended visit for Tennessee, important as he continues making the rounds this spring and into the summer, with an official visit to Knoxville already scheduled for June. Four-star safety and athlete Joey O'Brien out of Pennsylvania was back at Tennessee for his second visit since October. Also, four-star defensive lineman Damari Simeon out of New Jersey made his first trip to Tennessee after getting an offer from the Vols last month. They're in his top 10, battling for an official visit. And a few of Tennessee's commitments in town to help recruit some of those guys, led by five-star quarterback Faizon Brandon, the number one player in the 2026 class on 24/7 Sports. So big weekend for Tennessee to get some of those guys back on campus, continue to lay the groundwork in some important battles that are likely to extend into the summer.
Shout out to our great team site news reporters for giving us that ground on the boots and great information that you can't get from anywhere else.